All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk with you guys about some of the pros and cons about starting an online business. Things that kind of, will kind of get you excited to do it and kind of get you frustrated once you do decide to do it and take action. So it's all about taking action on what you would like to accomplish or what you would like to set up, right? From an entrepreneurial perspective, you have to also focus on your mindset. Your mindset has to shift because from an employee mindset, your focus would be to go to work and do a certain job, right? Whatever that job is. But from an entrepreneur perspective, all that's dependent on you and you alone, especially in the beginning, which is why it's so necessary that you are serious that's what you want to do. But I can tell you this, the rewards are fantastic. One of the best rewards is that you get to be your own boss. You get to run the show. You get to call the shots. Now, is that for everyone? Nope. But I believe that everyone could do it if, pushed to a situation. It's like if you are an employee and you work in an organization, you've probably been in this situation before. And let's say you got 7 or 8 people there, and you just happen to have been there the longest, which means as people come in, you would be the one that's training them, right? Which means you would have to know everything that goes on there in order for you to train them effectively, right? And that's what you want to do, is have them know what you know. That's it. Once they know what you know, then they're able to do it because there's a system in place already. See, businesses are nothing but systems that people create and then put other people in to work, and then they pay them a fee, a salary, right? Now, if you put the actual system together, then you know all the moving parts, which makes you the boss, the owner, the entrepreneur. That's the mindset you need to have. You need to be familiar with all the moving parts of setting up your business. You need to be that person. Nobody else, not that person over there, that person over there. It needs to be you. And if you're not willing to do that, being an entrepreneur is not for you, especially an online entrepreneur, because it requires a commitment over a period of time. That's how you grow over time. You don't grow by just adding water, or you don't put 24 hours in one day and you're successful. It doesn't work like that. You don't know enough yet, right? You're not familiar with all the people or the systems that go in line with what you do. Okay, that's one thing that you have to focus on. Now, one of the cons that go with that is that as you're doing things, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. And that's how we learn. Please know that. We don't learn from the successes so much as we do the mistakes. Like, one of the things that you'll have to do when you come under my system to begin is you have to set your WordPress blog up, because that's one of the places you'll be creating content, right? You'll be writing articles, well, not articles, but what they call posts, and you'll be submitting those to your blog regularly, right? Now, initially, you only have to do it a couple of times a week, because my system is based on a 90-day process, which means I break it down in a 3-month interval. So the first 30 days, you are doing certain things, what I call setting up the foundation, which is setting up your blog, deciding on which niche you're going to share your information with, because this is an information business. My system teaches you how to set up an information business. And that information is based on your knowledge about your particular thing that you want to teach people, right? Just like I'm sharing information about how to start an online business, you'll be sharing information about how to do whatever it is that you do. Simple as that. Same concept though. If you're going to choose videos to create, you're going to be getting in front of your camera on a platform like this one. This is happens to be Zoom, or you could use your own camera, however you want to do it. And you're going to create content. This is called content that I'm creating. This did not exist before I decided to create this episode. So all this comes from my mind, right? From what I've learned or what I'm continuing to learn, because the information business always fluctuates. It always changes. In other words, where you are today is based on the knowledge that you have. As you gain more knowledge and understanding, you will move the needle a little bit farther toward what we would call success. Now, success is, is dependent on what you call it. It's not what I call it. It's what you call it. It's not money based. It's not like based. It's not view based. It's what you determine it as success. However, I will say this, it takes money to maintain your system and grow your system. So your system needs to be efficient so that you can create and maintain that process, right? So that you can add products as you go, because as you gather more information, one of the products you could create, it would be like an ebook, a little small, maybe a 10-page ebook. You could say you could give it away, or you could sell it for $5, $7, whatever you want to, whatever price point you want to put on there, because you control all that. And it depends on how in extensive you are or thorough you are with your information, right? Because these are skills that you're going to be acquiring that you may or may not have at this point. So it's an adventure. It's going to be like an adventure for you, right? You're going to be learning things that you didn't know, and you're going to be unlearning some things that you thought would hold you back, right? Because there are things that you've been told in life that, kind of stuck with you. Like maybe you're never going to be anything, or you can't do this, or that doesn't work for everybody. Those types of things, you want to change that mindset again. You want to shift those. One of the things I do daily is meditate. And I meditate on affirmations, right? I have a podcast that I listen to that has, meditation music while it has affirmations along with that, right? Really soothing, really allow me to think, get to the zone that I need to create the world that I want to do. Because what you're actually doing is creating a new you, right? Because who you are on day one, although my system is 90 days long, who you are on day one, you won't be on day 90. You'll be a different person. And that's a short period of time in your life. When you think about it, 90 days is nothing, right? That's not even half a year. You can, if you can't commit to anything for 90 days, then you certainly can't commit for 3, 5, 10 years down the road. And that's what you'll be doing. Like I just passed 10 years in my system. Now, you have to know that I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. You have to know that, because there are so many different platforms that you can gain information from. And that's one of the things that I want you to focus on, because as you begin this process, you're going to be in what's called the learning phase. And in the learning phase, you actually, the ratio is like 90-10. You're learning 90% of the time and creating 10% of the time. But your objective is to actually create 10% of create 90% of the time and research 10% of the time, because that means you know a lot, right? You know a lot about what your niche or your area of expertise is. So you don't have to relearn that. Some things are updated, you have to focus on that from time to time, but for the most part, they don't change too much. They stay the same. And then that way you can focus on the next thing, right? And then the next thing, because eventually you're going to become, again, a product creator. But you start out an information creator, where you're sharing information that maybe that I've written, a blog post, or maybe a video that I've created, like this type, and you take some notes, and then you share what you heard from me with your audience, right? One of the things you have to learn to do is get comfortable in front of the camera, especially if you do videos. Now, video is my primary source of creating content. I love doing videos. So I like what I call one take. I don't like a whole lot of takes because I like to keep it as casual as possible, because my audience are what you consider baby boomers. My primary target audience are people who are, you know, either preparing to retire, have retired, or thinking about retiring maybe 5 years from now. I want to reach you at that point so that I can help you start what we call a little side hustle, right? Based on your passion, something that you already enjoy that will maybe, if you stick to it, allow you to retire quicker or allow you to subsidize your income, pay some things off before you retire. Like a lot of people buy a new car before they retire, which I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's all individual. Whatever you like to do, you can do it. It's your money, right? And it's your life. That's why you have the ability to create so much more than you're actually doing, but it would take some commitment. There are some things you have to learn about yourself that you may not be aware of now. One of those is how well you sacrifice, because you have to sacrifice to gain, right? Like there's a thing called the marketplace. Okay, the marketplace is everybody out here, what they're doing, what they're selling, what they're buying. That's the marketplace. And that marketplace rewards value. So you have to ask yourself, how much value can you bring to the marketplace, right? If you've just started a business and you don't have any products to sell, you haven't done anything like written books, created videos, or anything like that, your value is not real high in reference to the marketplace. However, once you continue to do it, let's say you write a book, then you create maybe 25 videos, you got a little value. People can access you, right? People know who you are a little bit. And what you're doing is you're building your online, excuse me, your online presence so that people can identify who you are. People can know who you are and what you do. Because word of mouth is another way that travels that information travels really fast. So if I was watching this guy's video, his name is Larry James. He's got a company called Speakwithlarry, no spaces. And you can say things like that as you're sharing information, and people will remember things like that, because the way the mind works, right? It's like a psychological, it's like the marketing part of it, it's psychological. I have to be able to get inside of who you are and what you do so that I can actually cater to that. Like I need to find out where you're weak and where you're strong, what you desire and what you would like to know more about. And then I need to provide that. And then as I provide that and you gain what you were looking for, then I'm someone that you recommend other people to. And that's how, the game is played psychologically. I kind of got to get inside of your mind and put myself in your position. Like, what would I do in that situation? Where would I look? That's why the URL, what you type in when you search for information, is vital, because when you type in, you can just type in Speak with Larry, and I show up everywhere, right? That's because of the branding that I have. And that's because of the position I have with Google. You want to also do that. My ears itch. You want to also do that and position yourself in the #1 slot for your URL, right? Whatever you decide your URL is to be. Sometimes people use their own name. My name is Larry James. I could have had LarryJames.com or Larry James, like Speakwithlarry.com is one of my websites. Speakwithlarry.blog is my blog. Speak with Larry's podcast is a podcast show I have. See, all those will show up once you go to type in Speak with Larry. You can even type in Speak, and I'll probably populate somewhere along the way, right? Because I have over 900 videos on YouTube. Now that's a lot of YouTube videos, and all are monetized, right? So that's one stream of income that comes in whether I'm doing much or not. But I always continue to create videos because that's my primary way of sharing content. Just like I'm sharing information right now. and you're getting some of it because you're still here. But don't just gain a little bit. Continue to follow other videos that I've created or follow other people, because that's what you really want to do. You want to identify someone who's doing what you would like to do and watch several of their videos, right? Actually set up a system. Like I'm big on systems. Say that 3 times a week you're going to watch videos, read blogs, and create content, things like that. Let's say on Mondays and Wednesdays, you watch maybe an hour's worth of blogs with different people that do things that you want to do. Now you're going to learn terms, you're going to learn other people because they're going to mention names. You're going to be able to identify some other people that you can't identify right now, which is golden. That's great stuff, right? Because all that's going to increase your value. When I ask you, do you know a guy by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk? You might, oh yeah, I know Gary. Or I might ask you if you know a guy named Boyce Watkins. Oh, I know Boyce Watkins, yeah. Or do you know Tariq Nasheed, right? You might not know those people, but you might have the wherewithal to research those people and see what they have to offer, what they do, right? Now, I study a variety of different people because I like to be well-rounded, in my opinion, what I consider well-rounded. I like to be able to match up with other people's energy, whatever that energy is, and have the intellect to follow along, not just learn. Although I enjoy learning, but I also like to share information, right? That I believe if I'm on a Zoom interview with someone else and we're talking back and forth, people are going to be listening to what I say as well as what the other person is saying. Now, the other person might have some golden nuggets that they're sharing, but I may as well, right? And it's not the messenger that you're seeking, it's the message, so that you can share that message with other people, and it will make you look like you're smart. That's the world we're in today, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of times people do things because they just love it. And once you're able to find out what you have a passion for, and you're able to set up a system and do that on a regular basis, you're going to be real good at it, because that's how you get good at something. Practice. You have to practice. And as you practice, you're going to always start out at the bottom, because you're not going to start out the best. That's not how it works. And that's a good thing, because in order to become the best, you have to put in the work. That might take you 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 hours of doing what you do. It may take you 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 years to get where you want to go. It may take 15, 20 years, but you're doing what you love and you're making money at the same time. How cool is that? And then your value is increasing. People know you. Now people know me. I'm pretty well known around these parts, right? Although I'm in Irving, Texas, people that know, they know. And understand this, everybody's not going to know. It's not like that. I'm not a rapper or entertainer or nothing like that. But in this world, that's what you want to become. And there are levels. You're not going to start at the Gary Vaynerchuk level. No, that's not going to happen. Even if you were able to create a viral video and escalate that much, you have to maintain that. You have to hire a service, people. You don't know anything about that. You have to outsource that. And you can't do that if you have the finances. That's why it's good to build it from the ground. That way, all like how much it costs for you to, maintain this, how much it costs for you to maintain that. And if you're making enough to maintain those, you don't have to really be making a profit to keep your business going, right? And you probably have another job on the side, so don't worry about that. As long as you can maintain enough to keep your business going until you get more knowledge, and then you can increase your revenue from the business side of things. Because when you know better, you do better, right? So if you know what it takes, you make a commitment. And I like short-term commitments. I like 30, 60, and 90-day commitments. I don't like to commit to you for those years. No, I'm not going to do that hardly. Now, I do make long-term goals that require me to be committed, but they're all in line with my short-term goals. Let's say I got 3 short-term goals, but I really want the big goal 5 years down the road, right? but I'm going to make these work in the process. And that's just the way I do it. So I wanted to make this quick video today because this is Tuesday. I normally do Zoom interviews on Tuesdays, and I had a guy that I was going to do a Zoom interview with today, but unfortunately he got caught in some traffic and wasn't able to make it. So that's how it works. Things like that work. But that's why you need to be able to have enough in the can so that you can put it in the can like this, and then you keep the process moving, right? Nothing stops but you. You have if you don't stop, it will keep going, and only you can make it keep going. You can't delegate unless you know what you're delegating, and then you're gonna have to fee that out. You're gonna have to pay for that, which is not. I do that. I pay sort systems, but it's only because I know what I want from those systems and I know what to expect, right? I don't just give them money because I want that done and say, well, I don't know what I want done. No, that's not smart, right? So you want to be smart with what you're doing. All right, listen, I hope you enjoyed this little clip. It's supposed to be about the pros and cons of starting an online business. I went around a little bit. But you can go to Google and type in the pros and cons of an online business, and I'll pop up now that I've created this video. That's how that works. How cool is that, right? All right, my name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry, no spaces. And as always, share with someone else what I've shared with you.